Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Just a short video this one this morning, just to show you a small update that I've made to the cockpit, and that is you may already be able to spot the Embraer style yoke that I've got on here now. I searched the internet in an attempt to find one of these yokes to buy, but nobody makes them, and so I set out to make one myself. The basis is the Cytec flight yoke, which is the part behind here. So I've just effectively replaced the Cytec Cessna style yoke on the front here for this Embraer style yoke. Now I made this out of MDF and balsa wood and aluminium. The initial shape was cut out of MDF, 4 layers thick, and the centre 2 layers I cut out a cavity for the wiring to pass through. Glued the 4 pieces of MDF together, and then shaped it with added balsa on the front here and on the tops here, which using that balsa to front up the MDF makes it a lot easier for sanding and shaping. So the aluminium part is this front plate, which I made out of aluminium, and then thickened it up with a little bit of car filler. That's got a spring which passed through it, and this folder attachment is a spring-loaded clip which is on the front. The paint, I use a textured paint on the black to make it look a bit like leather. I'm not sure what the actual flight yoke is in the aircraft, but it seems to fit quite well. And then a silver aluminium type paint for these parts. The wiring passes, as I say, passes through the back cavity and up through the interior cavity of this to the switch plate here, and that switch plate clamps around the main yoke. There's 3 screws on the back here to clamp the whole thing on there, so I can easily undo those 3 screws. A little plate comes off the back, and this can be detached, so if I get any problems with the switches, they're easily replaceable. The switches, I utilise the switches that are part of the original Cytec yoke, including the hat switch, which I use for moving the view around as a normal joystick. And then on this side I've got a push to talk button that brings up the ATC dialog box on screen to talk with FSX ATC. And then I've got 2 trim buttons and a view button which cycles around the outside views, etc. It took me, I suppose, about 3 weeks to make. On reflection, I perhaps could have done a bit better with the final sanding and the painting, and in fact I have made another one since for a friend, and I made a bit better job of that. My cockpit is not quite full size, so the yoke is a bit smaller, so that it fits my cockpit than it would be in the real aircraft. It'd be probably that much bigger in the real aircraft. But everything works okay. I've had no problems with it so far, and the only thing is it feels totally weird after using the U-shape Cessna style yoke for so long, with your hands like that. It feels totally weird to be flying an aircraft with these motorbike style handlebars on the top, so they do take a bit of getting used to, but now I've had it for a short while and I've been using it. I'm really pleased with it. So there we are, that's the latest update. At the moment I'm making a new GCU 477 unit for flight planning. At the moment I use this, none of these buttons work, but I use these buttons to operate various things within the sim. But I'm planning on making that a working item, so I can do some flight planning with it as well. I did have problems with that with regards to tracing what's happening in the sim, so I can assign the buttons to it, but I've now figured out a way of assigning buttons to mouse clicks within an XML gauge file by wrapping it around a local variable and then assigning that local variable to the switch. So that'll be a video a little bit in the future once I've made it. It's probably going to take me a best part of a month to do that. But there we go. Everything's working fine at the moment. I've done a little update also with the heading knob. I've replaced the rotary encoder that I used for that because the original one didn't have a push button. So I now have a push button which syncs up the heading, so that when you pull onto the runway, just press the button and it'll sync up with the line of the runway for when you take off, which is really handy. And it's also handy in flight if you get vectored away from your GPS course. You can sync up your current heading before you switch the heading, so otherwise your heading might be showing in a totally different area and it takes a long time to get to where you should be. So that's another little added bonus which has made life easier. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed my new yoke. If you've got any questions, please post them. Have a good day. Bye.